Welcome to PsK Masterclass. My name is Nematei. Our guest today is a friend of mine who I've worked with a couple of years ago, and she needs no introduction to many. Today she'll be giving us a journey to the big stage. For those who love drama, you're in the right place today. Just kidding. She's not dramatic at all. Not at all. Anyway, her biography and all the things she's accomplished over the years will be in the description box below. So please make sure to check it out later. For now, please help me welcome my friend Sbongile.
What else do I... Oh my goodness. I didn't even see that this camera is rolling. Okay, I just had to take this off first. Safety first. Sanitize. And we put some lotion. There we go. Just to keep the hands very hydrated. And it smells so good. Anyways. Dumelang. Okay. Alright, I need to be serious now. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, oh my goodness. Whew. I would like to introduce to you the one and only Bongi Mntambo. So, I go by the name of Bongi Mntambo, but most people know me as Bongi. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. So we're gonna get right into it. But before we do, I'd just like to thank PsK Masterclass for inviting me to such an amazing initiative and masterclass. And I really hope and pray to God that you get all the information that you need and you can grasp as much info or as much knowledge as you can from this conversation that we're about to have. So, like I've already explained, I go by the name of Sbongile Mntambo. Most people know me as Bongi. So, it's very interesting. I'll get into it as the video goes on. So today I'm going to be discussing about my music career, from exactly where it started, where I got the love from music from, and why I decided to do music, and what's my next plan. So it's going to be really interesting. I think I'm also going to learn a lot of things about myself in this actual video. So please bear with me if I do forget some things, but I will try and put in as much information as I can. All right, now getting into the video. I started singing from a very young age. I think I was either between 5 or 6 years old. Yes, and that was at my preschool graduation ceremony. And I remember that day I was very, I can't remember if I was nervous or I can't remember if I don't know. It was my first time performing on stage, so I think I was a bit nervous. But then, you know, kids, you just go for it. You just go on there and you start singing. So I was told on the day that I'm going to actually be singing and doing all those kind of things. I'm like, oh, okay, let's see. You know, and I asked my mom, I'm like, what song am I going to sing? She's like, do anyone, maybe Amazing Grace. And I was like, okay, great. Because we always sing it at home. Like I said in the beginning of this video that I grew up in a musical family. Both my mom and dad used to sing. My mom till this day is still a choir conductor, and she still coaches me. Yes. So yes, it was at this other school. The ceremony was held at this other school in Welkom, where I come from the Free State. And I remember going on stage, and then the teacher just looked at me. She's like, she was actually so nervous for me. She was like, is this girl actually gonna do this? I don't know why. I was just like, and I went on stage, whatever. I'm like, I was very dramatic. Yo, if you think this is drama, I was too dramatic in life for my liking. I was too much, but in a good way, I think. So I started the song and I went, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God. Amen, 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 amen. But I mean, of course, it didn't sound like that. It didn't sound like that. Anyways, so that was the first song that I sang in front of an audience. Hey, yeah, that's about a. So I remember my mom was literally in tears. She was like, what? Okay, I always knew that maybe I'll get a child who can sing, but I never expected this one, you know. And then, I mean, long story short, right there and then, she knew that I was definitely going to be following music and I'll be doing music as a career. So it was never a question of what's Bongi gonna do after school? Is she gonna go into medicine? Is she gonna go into law? You know, no. It was one of those. She knew right there and then that I'm definitely gonna go into music. So where it all started, because my mom was a choir conductor. Well, she still is, but then back then when I got exposed to this different genre, she was a choir conductor, and she also used to coach solos and like these ensembles and stuff like that. So one day I went with her to one of the rehearsals. In fact, they came to my house and then they had the whole rehearsal there. And then I remember this girl, she couldn't get something from the song, like she couldn't grasp something from the music. And because I've always been listening to the song, and I've always like, I mean, I would always listen to them when they practice and all of that. So I was like, maybe I can try it. Let me try it. Maybe it will make sense if a small child does. And that time, mind you, I was in primary school. I think I was around, say 8 to 9 years old, somewhere there. And then I sang the song. I started from the beginning until the end. It went on and on and on and on and on and on. And then after after the whole song, after I finished the whole song, everyone was just so stunned. I mean, remember the first time my mom ever heard me sing, like in front of an audience, was when I sang Amazing Grace. And there was something totally different to what she heard me sing then. So she was like, hey man, I don't understand. Is she gonna go into opera? Is she gonna go into contemporary / pop? You know, what's going to happen? And then yeah, she was very impressed. Everyone was very impressed. They actually was clapping it. They were clapping for me even. They're like, oh my gosh, we didn't know that you could sing like that. And I'm like, I didn't know. And that's where I got my first training from my mom. I did these school choir I stayed for. I think back then they were called Tirisano. I stayed for something like that. And now I think they're called the South African School Choir Festivals. Choir I stayed for, something like that. I can't really remember. And ever since then, I've been singing opera music and choral music strictly. And remember, this was when I started like being a lot into it when I got into high school, which was, I think I was in grade 8 when I started my first competition. And I will never forget that day. I performed with like I competed against matriculants. I competed against like senior phase people who've been doing this, you know. So let me just get some water. You know, excuse me. I took part in this competition thinking that I just want to try it out and see. And I performed the first time on stage, on that platform, and everyone was looking at me. It was terrifying. I was so scared. I know, I was so scared. And then I remember just going on stage and going like, you know what? God is not going to give me this talent for nothing. There's surely a reason why I have this type of talent in me, you know? So, I mean, let me just try it out. And I sang. And I remember the song that I sang was called How Beautiful Are the Feet. And it goes something, I'm just going to sing like a little bit of it. It goes, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace. How beautiful are the feet. How beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace. And now that I'm reminiscing and it's actually coming back, and I remember how I felt that day. After getting off that stage, I felt so proud of myself. I was like, I did it. And all of a sudden I was like, I better win this competition. But yeah, I was being too ambitious there. And then I came third. I cried. I'm like, mama. I was like, but this is your first competition. You should actually be proud of yourself. There was like a whole lot of people in the line. I think there was like 10 contestants who were ready to compete against each other. And me having to do the competition for the first time at that age with such old people, I was like, afterwards I thought to myself, I should be proud of myself, you know. And then years went by, I did the same competition. I would do like I stayed first, like Tigerberg, I stayed first, and all those other stuff. I did a lot of competition. I can't really remember them. And then I think when I was about to do grade 11. Yeah, when I was about to do grade 11. Oh, actually, before I go there, whilst I was still doing choral and opera music, there was this other studio that I was in. It was called the TBL studio, and we did like competitions like Superstar. I took part in Superstar. I did what's this other competition? It's like an Afrikaans type of competition, man. I did quite a few, like 3 or 4, somewhere there. And then in grade 7, I think I went too far. In grade 7, I think I did my first ever production, like a whole full production, and with props and everything, drama on stage, you know. It was called Red Bull Gives You Wings, and we sang all these inspirational songs, and these beautiful songs by, stuff like "You Raise Me Up So I Can Stand on Mountains," stuff like "I'll be your angel in your darkest night. I'll be your destiny with a da-da-da. I'll be your sunshine when the feeling is blue. When you're feeling blue, I'm always here for you." But we sang those type of songs. I remember that very vividly. Till this day, when I go to that school just to go greet them and check how they're doing, I still see my pictures on the walls. And I'm like, I always feel so proud of myself. I'm like, wow, people are gonna come to the school and look at all these pictures and ask, who's this? And I'm like, no, it's that lady, and that lady will be working in the industry. You see what I did there? So yes, man, since then I've been doing music. So I would shift from opera music and choral music to contemporary pop, R&B, and for me it was natural because I think I grew up with it, and it's like something I'm used to doing. And then when I think I was about to do grade 11, there's this other guy called Andre van der Merwe. He's now a conductor of a choir called the Stellenbosch University. He was also the conductor of Stellenberg Hoërskool, and that's all in Cape Town. So he came to Free State and he was conducting auditions. I remember that day, I didn't even know about these auditions. My mom was just like, okay, we're going to Bloemfontein. I'm like, because I stay in Welkom, and it takes like about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to Bloem. I'm like, Mom, you just said that the auditions are now at this time, and you're telling me that we're gonna drive all the way to Bloemfontein for auditions. It's like, hey, get in the car, let's go. I'm like, whatever, let's go. We got there. I was just like, it was just me, the pianist, and Mr. Andre van der Merwe, and my mom, of course. I went in and I started singing. I can't even remember what I auditioned with. And then, yeah, he did what he had to do. Fast forward. And it was history after that, And then he was like, okay, next year, January, we're going to come fetch you, and you have to go to Cape Town. So I got a scholarship, in short. I got a scholarship to be in this choir. I don't know if it still exists now, but it's a choir called the South African Youth Choir. And I also got a scholarship to be in one of the greatest schools in Cape Town. Oh my goodness, I'm super, super grateful till this day. I'm still like, I am still like, yo, that is amazing. So I went to Cape Town and I finished my matric there, also did competitions and all of that. And for the first time, I've been doing music my whole life, but it was the first time I ever did music professionally, as in like studying music. I studied, I think I finished up to grade 7 or 8, somewhere there. Grade 7, man, I think it was grade 7, of music theory. Mind you, I knew nothing, ne? I got there and all these other kids knew everything because they started from grade 8. And I was like, my goodness, how am I going to do this? And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to dive in. Now, I'm just going to dive in and I'm going to pray to God that I make it. And by the grace of God, I made it. I made it. I passed it. And I finished with my matric year. And then that's where I got the opportunity to go and study at the University of Cape Town. My vocal teacher then in school in Cape Town, she helped me to apply. And then I was like, okay, fine. I know exactly what I want to do. I want to do music. I want to do opera. I want to do this. And I went there and I studied music. And from there onwards, it's been, you know how this journey goes. So I did that. And then After a few years, I left. I went to go work in Turkey. It was also a singing job. Excuse me. It was also a singing job, and we sang in hotels. We sing all these exciting type of music. And remember, I've been going from classical to crossover, and now I went fully professionally into opera music. And then right after that, I decided contemporary again. So I have been doing this up and down, up and down, up and down. Mainly because at that time, honestly, I really didn't know what I actually want to do in music. If I want to do gospel, if I want to do jazz, if I want to do this, because my voice was just confusing me. I'm like, I feel like I fit kind of everywhere, but I can't box myself. I can't be that person. I don't know. It's just that. And then I came back a few years ago. No, 2 years ago. Did gigs, did my first ever show. I hosted my first show. It was called the SHERO tribute concert. And that's where I sang covers of these women in music. Like Abo Miriam Makeba, Abo Yvonne Chaka Chaka, Abo, even like the old and the new generation in music. I sang their songs and I thingied them together. It was a beautiful show. It was a beautiful show. And the following year, I was very what's the word? I was very hesitant. That word. I was very hesitant as to what exactly I want to do. Do I then want to vouch more into competitions, or do I want to go work overseas again? Hey, and I had to take this decision. I was like, you know what? I'm going in and I'm not going to look back. So this year, I decided to audition for Idols. Yes. Idols season 16. Woo! You know? And I remember the way I was so hesitant, I made the decision on the day. And remember, I stay in Welkom, and the auditions were all the way in Johannesburg. So I was like, do I want to do this? Do I not? You know? Until I was just like, oh, hell no. I'm going. I woke my grandparents up. I'm like, guys, I'm leaving. They're like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to go audition for Idols. They didn't ask any questions. You know what? Hey, actually, those people are my heroes. My granny woke up 5 o'clock in the morning to take me to the taxis. Yeah. She didn't even complain. She asked me, do you have food? Do you have money? I'm like, I do have food. I don't have food, but I do have a bit of money. And she still gave me more money, you know? And so she took me to the taxis, gave me money, and long story short, I got to Johannesburg and auditioned for Idols. Went through to the next round, until I got to where I am right now. So, I mean, for me, it's been an absolutely amazing journey. I've learned so much about myself, like vocally, and as a person in general. I also learned not to box myself. And people would always ask me this interesting question, but they would be like, Bongi, but how do you then tackle singing in all these different types of genres? Like, how do you do it? And I'm like, how do I do it? How do I do it? I mean, how do I do it? I still don't know, you know? No, but then I basically told them, like, when I went to go study music professionally, there's like certain techniques that they taught us to use, that they taught us to use when singing. And I think that also helped me to differentiate how to use my voice when I'm singing a different type of genre. For instance, if I'll be singing, okay, in I don't know about crossover music and like Boma Afropop and jazz and all of that, but I know with opera music, there's like 3 different voice, I don't want to say direction, it's like placements, yes, voice placements There's one that's called the head voice, there's one that's called the chest voice, and there's one that's called the full voice. It's a lot of information, but I'm gonna try and just summarize it a bit. So I'd sing something like let me see, let me think of a song quickly. Okay, I would sing a song like Ave Maria, ne? So this is how head voice would sound like. And then your chest voice would be like, also depending on how you sing, because it sounds different with different people. So chest voice for me, this is how it would sound. It's got that. And with the full voice, I'm gonna make a noise, Jesus. With the full voice, it's correct. We're like, yeah. I wanna make such a noise. Okay. Something like that. I hope I don't get into trouble. Yeah, it goes something like that. So I kind of, I don't want to say mastered, but I kind of grasped. I kind of grasped the way to sing or to use my voice when singing different types of genre. And then with contemporary music also, I would just kind of incorporate some techniques that I was taught back in choral music and opera music. And for me, I can't really say there's a certain technique that I use specifically that, oh, when I sing like this, I sing, no. I incorporate my choral stuff into whatever that I do, because it helps me, man, and I don't strain my voice a lot. I don't strain my voice a lot, and it comes easy and naturally, let me say. So yes, hey, I've been talking. But anyways, I really hope that you enjoy this video. I hope that you love this video, and I hope that you're also going to learn a lot from it. And for those who really want to go into choral music, I would, if you're really into music, you would this would make sense to you. And now I'm not saying people who haven't studied opera or we haven't done or don't have a choral background are not like good in music or something like that. I'm just saying it because it is the fundamental of music. Choral music is the fundamental of music in general. That's where it started. Even when you go through the history of where music started from and how it evolved from where it was to where it is now, that's where it started. I started with choral music, and where people would just people like Abu Mozart, Abu Brahms, Nabuban, they would compose music, and people would go watch them at theaters, these small little theaters. That's when music started. And then it evolved into jazz, into blues, into that, you know, different types of. And then it went into other stuff, and then it evolved. So for me, this is what I'm saying. If you really want to do choral music, it's really going to do you good, because you're going to understand the foundation of where music comes from. And it will help you also with how to use your voice, if I may put it that way. I just also want to say this too. I always say this to young women and men who want to follow this journey. It is not easy. Okay? It is not easy at all. It's a tough journey. But it is not impossible. It is not impossible. If you are really determined, if you are really focused on what it is that you want, you will get it either way. You will get to where you want to be. You will what's the other thing? Yes, you will get to where you want to be, and you will accomplish what you've always wanted to, if you have patience and if you are focused. You know what I mean? Because I know that I have friends who actually studied music. Ne? They did their masters and blah, 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 blah. But where are they right now? Most of them are probably doing something in the corporate world. They're sitting in some office because they were not patient enough to wait. Because sometimes you might wait for 5 years, sometimes you wait for 10 years, sometimes you wait for 15 years. Touch wood, touch wood, touch wood. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that does not happen, but that's how far it can go. But then I always say there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Always, always, always. No matter how long you wait, if you are really determined, you need to keep on pushing. You can't sit down and wait for things to come to you. You must go and get things. You must go and fetch those. You must fetch your life, man. Go fetch your life. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's a beautiful journey. It's something to really, really look up for or up to. And once you're up there, glory. Glory, glory, glory. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's your girl, Bongi. Bongi. I love you so much. And I really hope that you follow my journey in music as well. You can find me on social media at Bongi Mntambo _singer on Instagram. Or you can find me on Facebook at Sbongile Mntambo. And that's where you'll find me. Okay. I'm done. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you